Hello and welcome back to LeMaster Tech. In today's video, we'll be continuing our PLC programming educational series on the concepts of going online with a PLC, and we will then cover uploading and downloading, how to do it and what it means. So as with this entire series, I am using the Siemens PLC platform. I'm using TIA Portal, or Totally Integrated Automation Portal, from Siemens to program my PLCs, but the concepts that we talk about and the ladder schematic diagram code that we see is going to be pretty universal to any PLC platform. If you have specific questions about your platform, I've seen most of them, feel free to drop them in the comments below. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, today we're going to be talking about going online with a PLC, what that means, the various different things that it means, and the difference between downloading to a PLC, uploading from a PLC, and then going online without doing either of those other two things. So to start, I'm actually going to go offline. I was online with my PLC, and I'm going to make a brand new project with you right here. And I'm going to call it Tutorial Online. And I'm going to create that project with you. I'm going to save the current project because that'll close out, but that doesn't matter. You could be connecting to a PLC for the first time right now, and you have nothing online. Now, Siemens actually has a really nice feature. Some other platforms do have it in a way. I believe Studio 5000 by Alan Bradley, as well as the Beckhoff TwinCat platform, all have ways to detect a PLC that you're connected to. So in terms of my computer, I know it's physically connected to a CPU 1214C Siemens S7 1200 PLC. Don't worry about the specifics of what I just said. The really cool thing about TIA Portal is it actually gives you a way to browse available devices, but even if it didn't, Rockwell has RS links, TwinCat has the router, ADS router configuration tool, Beckhoff does, and then every other PLC platform that I've worked on, Mitsubishi, Omron, they have some way to basically enter an IP address and discover a PLC there. Older platforms, you may have to connect with a serial cable and use serial like RS-232 or RS-485, but we're going to assume you have a PLC that you can access via Ethernet. Let's take a look at how we can go online with this PLC without even having a backup of the program. I will say this all gets a lot easier to go online with a device if you do have a backup of the PLC program, but a lot of times, assuming it's not super locked down with passwords and restrictions, you can actually just get a lot of information about the PLC right off the PLC. So in the top, I'm going to go to online. And almost every PLC IDE has some version of go online menu, and we can upload the device as a new station, hardware and software. So we point at our Ethernet adapter and we hit start search, and it actually is just browsing its Ethernet connections for any discoverable device on the same VLAN or virtual network as our computer, and it does discover the PLC, which has an IP of 420.69.169. Nice. We're going to hit upload and see if it works. Now, if this was a system you got from a vendor or a system that's been in a factory forever and you just inherited the role as person responsible for it, there may be usernames, passwords, credentials that you have to enter there to be able to upload it. But honestly, most PLC programmers don't prefer to do it that way. So there's a decent chance you'll be able to upload any PLC that you connect to just as a new device. And that's pretty cool because now we have the program blocks which show the code for it. So I can go to main and I can see, oh, there's a routine called increment running on this PLC. And actually, if I look at what my PLC is doing, the digital output lights are incrementing one at a time on the front of the PLC, which tells me I should look at this routine increment. And so you notice this button at the top of TIA Portal says go online now because there's a PLC with an IP address added to our device. So if I hit go online, TIA Portal specifically has a few different color styles and icons. They're a little different from Studio 5000, a little different from TwinCat and Omron and Mitsubishi, but generally speaking, every PLC platform has some way of going online, some indication that you've successfully gone online, and then some tool. In the case of Siemens, it's these glasses with a little play button for live monitoring. And live monitoring the code is really useful because it shows you what's going on. I can look at this little routine and I see that there's this bit go, and as long as go is active, I have this count variable that's just counting 0 to 9, and again, this correlates exactly to what I'm seeing on the PLC. So generally speaking, when you go online with a PLC, you don't always have to upload or download, but it's more of a live viewing environment. If you have a backup of the PLC, so now that I have this code, I'm gonna go ahead and save it, and if I close TIA Portal out completely and then reopen it and then go back to my tutorial online file, because now I have a file that stored all that information about our PLC and the code that we pulled off of the PLC by uploading, and I'm able to just go in here and immediately hit the Go Online button. If I didn't have the Go Online button, you can usually use extended Go Online, or older versions of Allen Bradley PLCs had Who Active Go Online, where you can check for available IP addresses and devices, and you can see all the devices available to you that you're connected to through a variety of drivers, whether it's serial, Ethernet, Profinet, whatever. And then you can check for your device, see if it's connected, and then go online that way as well. Okay, and we can once again see that we're online. We can get back into the increment code and we can live monitor it. And again, the thing to speed recap what we've done so far is uploading generally refers to pulling the code off of the controller into a file on your computer that you can read. Going online is generally just thought of as live connecting to the device for monitoring of status. So there's going online and there's uploading. Now let's talk about downloading. And downloading, bold letters, is the dangerous thing to be very careful about doing, because downloading is what you do when you change the code on the controller. So let's say, and I've already prepared it, but let's say I have a different routine called flip-flop that's not going to increment one light at a time. It's just going to turn half my outputs on and then the other half of the outputs on, like a flip-flop circuit. Very similar to increment, but all I have to do to make that happen is I have to go to main, and then I need to say, well, main, which is sort of my like master routine that calls all the sub functions. Now I want main to call flip-flop and not increment. And you can see that even though I've done this while online, I get this indication from Siemens. Allen Bradley shows unaccepted changes in a different way. So does every platform. And now if I want to download to the controller, I can hit the down arrow. I can go to online and I can hit the download to device button. And you have to be very careful when you do downloads, because normally a PLC is not in a nice clean bench setup like I have it here. It's usually in an industrial control cabinet, and it's usually controlling real world outputs, and you're immediately changing how they will react. So most of the time before you download to a controller, you want to power that device into a completely safe and idle state. But what you can see is now that it's gone solid green again, and now if I go back to flip-flop, I can just see the counter jumping back and forth between the two count variables that I have set up. So the flip-flop is working really well. Now that I've gotten rid of increment, if I turn this one on, you'll see that it's all grayed out because nothing's calling it. It's not a live function anymore. Okay, and then you also don't have to do downloads exactly the way I did, where you do them online. You can go fully offline and you can change something about the code. Like right now it's changing between position 1 and position 2 every 1 second. I could change this to just a hard-coded like 5 seconds, and I can download, and I'm completely offline right now. I can download without being online. Those two do not have to be the same thing, but it can be very helpful to do online downloads anytime you're not changing physical hardware, because you're acutely aware of the current state of the device and you can immediately monitor how it changes when it changes. So now that we've downloaded, I'll hit that monitor again, it'll go online again, and it'll show us this counter counting up to 5 seconds. So you can do downloads from an offline state or an online state, because in either of those scenarios, you're making the call as the engineer or programmer to say, I don't care what code was on that device, take this code and now this is your brains. This is also why before you do a download on a live system, you should almost always start by doing an upload, making sure you have a backup of the most recent code that you're viewing. Save it as _old. Like right now I'm live with this code, so I can go to save, I can do project save as, I could say tutorial online backup or something like that, and I can hit save. Okay, and now that I've saved off a backup copy, I could go ahead and make changes and delete stuff and change stuff. But again, you have to understand, anytime you download to a PLC, you are changing how that PLC is going to command stuff. And so you need to be incredibly careful. You need to make sure production is aware of any changes that you're making. And downloading is the thing that you want to be extremely trained to be able to do. Or you have a nice bench environment and it's relatively safe to F around and find out, as they say. So again, uploading is pulling code off of a PLC. It's generally thought of as quite safe. It's a good way to get a backup. It's a good way to make sure that you have a recent version of whatever code is running on your device. Going online is live monitoring your code. It doesn't necessarily refer to making changes. There are ways to go online with like a maintenance copy of programming software that is read-only, so you can't even make changes. And that's a really great tool for like maintenance sometimes and support technicians and folks who don't write code, but they need to understand what's happening. And then download is the big, careful, safe, you're pushing changes to the controller, so you really need to be aware of what you're doing. So I hope that all made sense. Again, even if you don't program in TIA Portal with the Siemens platform, these concepts are quite universal. So I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about what you saw in this video today. And let me know what programming or automation and controls concepts you want to see next on the channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.